Hey, what's up guys? What I have for you today is the Sony Action Cam Mini. It is the HDR AZ1, and this was released recently, and this is their smaller, lighter version of their flagship camera, the AZ1. According to the specs, it's about 2/3 the size of the AZ100. Of course, because of its smaller size, there are some differences. Some of the things that they opted to exclude from this model, one of them is the video and audio jacks. This one is missing those. It also does not have the HDMI output, as well as the jack for the microphone if you want to use that. There is also no expansion port or the GPS built in. If you want to use that feature, you'll have to use the accessory, the live view remote, or I think your phone would be able to do that as well. Other obvious difference is the smaller battery, which kind of means a smaller battery life. So if I want to take it out for the whole day, I'll have to pick up another extra battery, a spare battery, to be able to capture all the things I want to capture. And of course, the screen is much smaller and doesn't really tell you as much as the bigger model. It basically only tells you three things: the battery life, let's see, the Wi-Fi if it's on or off, and the status of the battery. So there we go, you have a little screen right there. And as far as the buttons, you have your on off, record button, the hold, turning on the Wi-Fi. And so you can't really change the settings on the camera. You'll either need, again, the remote or your cell phone to be able to change the settings, which I don't really mind, especially for the use that I intend for it. I am fine with setting it at one setting and leaving it that way for the whole day. For my purpose, the size is a little bit more important than that feature. Other differences is, of course, the megapixel. The AZ100 is 13.5, whereas this one is 11.9, right there. The other difference is the slow motion capability, or the setting. The AZ100 can do 240 frames per second at 480, 800 by 480, whereas this one is 120 FPS at 720. As far as the memory stick, it takes a micro SD or a memory stick micro cards. But if you want to take full advantage, you are basically required to get an SDXC card, class 10 or higher. That's recommended, or you have to, and recommended of 64 gigs in order to be able to capture in the XAVC format. But if you want to just capture an MP4, you can use, the micro SD, and you can get 1080 at 60 FPS or 720 at 120 frames per second. Again, the field of view is typically 170 degrees, but if you want to use the steady shot, it's actually going to be 120. So just to give you an idea of the size, I'm sorry I don't have the AZ100 at this time, or to be able to borrow to compare, but I do have a handy dandy quarter right here. So just to give you an idea of the size of this camera, so it's pretty low profile. Even with this case, it's pretty low profile. As far as the contents, you get the camera, the battery, you get this waterproof case up to 5 meters or 16 feet. You also get this standard mount for the camera mounts, because this one is not the standard, it's small, so you'll have to mount it this way, and you'll be able to mount it on anything, which is a very nice feature. I like the way that they built it in. You also get a flat and a curved adhesive mount, and of course the USB cable. Now, one gripe about this camera is the lack of information on the manual. So if you want to be able to, if you have difficulty connecting it with the live view remote, typically customers would have to go online to find that information, because the included paperwork doesn't really give you that much information. Now here it is with the camera that I have been using for the past year and a half. This is the Drift Ghost. They have two newer models, which is the Drift Ghost S and the new smaller model that they have, the Stealth 2. I believe I just received an email a couple of days ago, which is smaller than this version, but this is the size difference that I can show you if you have the Drift Ghost. Here again is a size comparison, sorry, with the case on, and it's somewhat similar head-on, but a little shorter on the side. Here we go. And what I plan to do with this is a supplementary point of view when I go out on my excursions. So as far as my use of this camera, I plan on mounting this on the barrel, whether it be on the top or on the bottom. I haven't really decided yet, and I have this, generic cheap mount for it, which will work. I haven't really tried it out yet or see which one is better. But one thing I do like or plan on testing out is using the Drift accessories for it. I mean, I might as well, I already have it, and I can easily swap it out if I want to switch positions or take it out. But this is basically the quick disconnect and connect for the Drift, and basically you just thread it on like so, and this is the Drift, that bicycle handlebar mount or barrel mount, and basically connect it, and here we go. Although this is a nice durable mount, when I have used it, I typically found that these knobs, which is really good for disconnecting and connecting, would get in the way of me aiming down the field if I positioned it this way, so that the camera is in the bottom of the barrel. So when I try to aim, it was something that I just had to get used to. It was hard for me to aim downfield and shoot because these things got in the way. But I think I might try and position it this way. So just the camera is just in front of the hopper. We'll see what happens with this mount, and that's why I was deciding whether I should just use this one or the Drift mount, because this one doesn't really obstruct the view as much. Or I'll look around to see which one doesn't have like an easy knob. I know I'll have to use a Phillips screwdriver for that purpose, but as long as it doesn't get in my aiming, I'll be fine with that. So here it is on the barrel. I have my Lucky 15 right here, and quick connect. I'm good to go. Alright, so here it is, mounted on the gun, and let's see, aiming down the barrel isn't too bad. I think it's better this way than if it was upside down, so I might have to use it this way. Almost forgot to mention this before. Like I said before, you have a choice of getting the live view remote or using your smartphone to be able to connect to this one to see what you're recording, as well as changing the settings. And what I decided to do was use my phone instead. And once you install, it's pretty easy. you just type in the Wi-Fi password of the camera, and you're basically connected. Tilt that over there. So there we go, and you can change the settings right on the camera, the movie format, recording mode, if you want to flip it. There we go. Like I said, I think this one fits me a little bit better because I don't really plan on changing the settings frequently while I'm out there on the field. But if for a prospective buyer that wants to change it or more often, they might find that the bigger model will fit their needs better.